Hello. In today's video, we will continue with creating pipe supports like primary one and the secondary pipe supports or secondary steel. First, we need to indicate the location where we would like to have our primary supports. So I'm going to just start by placing them to the model. In my case, it will be just simple pipe shoes. How I may get there? You remember we created the plan on level 2 and I just made the view range just sufficient to cut through the beams. So in my case it was 3.7 meters. Now I can just place my pipe shoes. I will place one here and another one I would like to place here. And then we can create our secondary steel. As you can see, if I will isolate the model, we will see that the pipe shoe were created in the location where I indicated that I would like to have them. And now to create secondary steel, first we need to load. Usually I create secondary steel with brace, because if you'll try to make it beam or columns, it will become way too complicated and then you introduce a lot of unnecessary analytics in your model. But with braces, it goes in a quite smoother way. So how I can create secondary steel support in this location and in this location? In my case, it will be simple portal support, rotated of course. So first I need to create section view on the location of the first support, and then I need to create second section view on the location of the second support. Then you can go to the view, you can change the detail level to coarse just to see the shape. And what you can also do, if you would like to see a little bit more over here, you can also extend the depth of the section. Then by clicking on the right button, we can go to view again. Yeah, it's a little bit better. So what we can do now, we can simply create with reference lines, for example, just main dimensions, or you can already start to draw the secondary steel that you have in your head. But once you click on brace, you will get a prompt that you need to pick a plane first, and then only you can start to create the secondary steel. The thing is, for secondary steel, you need to indicate the reference plane, so the plane that will be used as a base to create those secondary steel supports. So for this one, I will use just one of the axes. It will be, or one of the grid, it will be grid number 5. And here, when I'm about to create brace, I can indicate that I would like to use grid number 5. And then once I start to draw, this component will be created in this area. Also, I would like to make it, still it's a little bit too much, but this is the only one that I have loaded currently to my project. So we'll just reuse them and we can start draft it. Something like that. Then here I can also extend it a bit to match to the other one, and I can also equalize it by adding the dimension and connecting it towards our support. And you can also just shift it a bit. Okay, no, you better not to do that, otherwise you also start to shift the equipment. So it will be better if you can just give with one dimension, and from the other side you will give it the another one. Then you can just lock this pipe in place and then you can try to modify it. So I would like to have it, for example, 500 from one side, and from the other side I also would like to have 500. Then on the top I also need to adjust the connection towards the beam on one side and on the another. If you'd like, you can also add different kind of connections, but we will not cover it in this tutorial. And once we go to the view, we will see that the secondary steel support has been created just under our primary support. And then we will create the second one. Go to the second one, but here we are going to do it a little bit differently, because as you can see, this is not on the major grid line. So to make sure that we can create over here the support, we need to create one reference plane. And we need to give a name to this reference plane. Otherwise you will not find it in the list. In this case I will call it PS2. And once we click on go to the view and we change it to fine, also you can adjust it as I do right now. And then when you will about to create the brace, you can select PS2 and you can start immediately draw supports. Just like in case of the previous support, it will be something like that. Just in the same way. Then I will just adjust some dimensions. Also, I will align it with the bottom line of the support. Like that. Here you can reconnect it. Here you can also reconnect it if it was disconnected. And here on both sides, you also can update it a bit. Yeah, here you need to be a little bit careful because there are already some analytics involved. So when you try to move it, just move it with some caution. Then, as we did it before, I'm also adding a few dimensions and changing its values to 500 from one side and to 500 from the other side. Yeah, and as you can see, this is what I meant. Now we just need to reconnect it, and again it become normal. So this is one of the ways how you can create secondary steel supports in Autodesk Revit. How you can create drawings out of that, we'll talk about it in different sessions once we are finished with every secondary steel support that we have here in our drawing or in our model. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.